Okay, hello and welcome to Coda Guitar. Here is a free level 1 lesson looking at an example riff, just using pentatonic scale. It's level 1, so no pyrotechnics here. We're just keeping it fairly simple. We're just looking at including a few of the techniques that we've looked at in some of the other level 1 lessons, free level 1 lessons. So it's more of a major sound, this one actually. It's more of a major pentatonic sound. So if you remember from the lesson on pentatonics, A minor and C major are very, very, very similar. In fact, they have exactly the same notes in. And remember, pentatonic just means 5-note scale, but they have the same notes in them. They just start from a different position. So A minor starts from fret 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A to A there. C just starts from fret 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C to C, but apart from that they include exactly the same notes. If any of this is kind of going over your heads, then please look at the pentatonic lesson first. It'd also be a good idea to make sure you've looked at the other technique lessons on bends, string bending, sliding, hammer-ons and pull-offs, and even just the basic sort of fretting riffs, all free level 1 lessons. So check some of those out, because I'm not going to cover those techniques again. We're just going to be looking at actually learning this riff. So straight in then, little finger, fret 8, and we're just going to be looking at this. It's 4-bar phrase, so we're going to be looking at it 1 bar at a time. So starting off on fret 8 of string 6 with your little finger, and then straight away there's a hammer on here. So my first finger is on fret 5 of the A string, and I'm going to hammer on onto fret 7 with my third finger. So you've got fret 8 on the bottom string, string 6, hammer on onto fret 7 from fret 5 on the A string, straight down onto fret 5 of the D string, and then straight onto fret 5 of the G. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm sort of flattening my first finger, I'm sort of rolling it down. Now, you don't have to do this, you could literally just drop that first, if you can see that, you could just drop that first finger down. Use the same part of the tip of your finger to fret the string. But quite a common way for people to move on the same fret in between strings is to, you call sort of like roll your finger. So normally this join here, this is curled round, and indeed it is when I play the first note on the D string, but then I'm flattening it, I'm sort of rolling it down there just to cover the G. So I'm covering the G more with the pad of my finger, and the D, that's the strings, that is, more with the tip. Okay, so that is the first bar. Hammer on the A string, D string, fret 5, G, fret 5 as well. So might be a good idea if you just pause this. We'll look at it 1 bar at a time. Get those notes under your fingers, and then the rhythm, the counting, because it's all obviously got a rhythm to it. So the hammer on actually comes in on the offbeat. It comes in on what we call the 2 and, after beat 2. So it would be 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So if that's a little bit funny to get your head around, we could talk about whether the notes are long or short. So long, short, 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 short. And with that hammer on, it's really important that that hammer on is also playing the correct rhythm. So often people think, I've got to hammer on quickly. the rhythm wasn't quite flowing there. So in fact, the hammer on and 3 and 4 creates the same speed, the same length note as all of the pick notes with your picking hand. So I'll do that one more time. So it's long, short, 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 or 1, 2 and 3 and 4. So again, if you want to pause this and just have a go at trying to play that in time. And the next bar, we're going to be looking at some string bending. So we finished on fret 5 of the G, of the 3rd string. So straight away I'm going to be bending fret 7 of this string now. Again, free level 1 lesson on string bending if you're struggling with that. I personally, I'm bending with my 3rd finger, and I personally support it with my 2nd finger. Quite a lot of people like to support with 3 fingers. I personally quite like to mute the unwanted strings with this 1st finger, just to sort of keep the sound under control. But whatever feels easiest for you to start with. But I'm actually bending this note out of tune. I'm sort of scooping it up. Now that's not in tune. So what I don't want to do is leave it ringing through, because it just sounds very unmusical. So I'm actually stopping it with my pick. Just clipping it there. If you can see that. Clip. Stopping it right at the top of the bend. When I think I've got to the top of the scoop, just stop it from ringing. Scoop, stop, and then while I've stopped it, release the bend, drop it back down, release the bend. Now when we say release the bend, nothing to do with taking your fingers off the strings. It's all about taking the note back down to the sort of unbent position, the normal fret 7 note. There's the bend, there's the release. So all the way through I was keeping the contacts, keeping the same amount of fretting pressure, mainly with my 3rd finger and supported with my 2nd one. So clip it, release the bend, and then as soon as you've done that, you're going to play it again, and you're going to do another bend and release, but this time you're going to leave it ringing all the way through that. So I'm making sure I'm quite close to fret 7, so I've got good contact, because if you're not, often you'll kill the note when you try to release the bend, because your 3rd finger's not quite making proper contact with the string. So first one, clip, release, and then bend and release the 2nd time. And then from there, if you can, it'd be great if you could play a pull-off. Use a pull-off back down to fret 5 on this 3rd string. So bend and release and pull off. Now you might find that a little bit tricky, so not a problem if you do. You could bend and release and just pluck that fret 5 again. That's fine, not a problem. But loads of people use that, really common thing in you know, sort of famous songs, commercial tracks. So it'd be good if you could get used to it. And then literally after that, bend and release, pull off if you can. If not, pluck fret 5 and then go to fret 7 on the D, on the 4th string. And that is all of bar number 2. So it's bend, clip, release, bend and release, pull off if you can, fret 7 on the 4th string. Definitely a good idea to try that on its own, because it's a little bit fiddly, that.